I just dropped something. Got it. Okay, I think I'm gonna start again. Bonjour mes copains. Today I'm going to catch up with you all a little bit, let you know what I've been up to the past couple of months, because it's been a little while, just a little while since I've done a YouTube video. It is nothing personal, I haven't got anything against you, I've just been very busy. There's been a lot going on. I had exams last month which lasted for a couple of weeks and I got done with them before half term. Actually no, I don't actually know, but like it was a few weeks ago. The first thing I'm going to talk about is when I went to the Science Museum to see a very special person. Here's a little clue. It's someone that's in this picture area over here. So take a wild guess at which one of these people it is, and I will tell you later in the video. Don't skip forward. I know what you're like. You're going to skip forward to that bit and find out who it is. But no, you have to watch the whole video because I'm going to be telling you where I've been, what I've been up to. The second thing I'm going to talk to you about is the Sometime Ball, which I went to last weekend. It was great. It was very fun, and it was, yes, it was very good. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about after that is yeah, there's not very much that I'm going to talk to you about really, because my life has been fairly boring apart from those two things. So I'm just going to get straight into it, and in this video it's going to be like a bit of a chit chat. So pour yourself a nice beverage, maybe a coffee, tea, or even like a hot chocolate or milkshake. I don't care what you drink, but like sit down, get yourself comfortable, and we'll get right into this video. First thing I'm going to talk to you about is, it was like a couple of Fridays ago. It was like the first Friday of half term. A few weeks before this happened, my friend messaged me on Twitter. She's called Sandy. Hi if you're watching. She told me that Brian May was doing a talk at the Science Museum, and I was like, oh my god, I need to snatch those tickets real quick. I yeeted myself onto the Science Museum website and I snatched those tickets faster than you can say your mum. I was so excited. I was like,
oh my god, I'm actually seeing Brian May in the flesh. Like literally this legend, this living icon. I was seeing him in the flesh.
Just let that sink in. Okay, so it was a pretty wild experience. So it was one Friday, last day of school, and I didn't actually tell that many people because I thought people wouldn't really care. So I just kind of like kept it to myself, kept it kind of low-key, because I thought there's no point in me telling those people if like nothing actually happens there, and it's like kind of like way over my head, because it was about the moon landing, because I think it's like 50 years since the moon landing. So Brian May, oh, what's his name? Martin Rees and some other like presenting guy were doing it. This sounds really cool, even though it might be really sciencey and I might not know what's going on. It might be really fun. I don't know what I'm trying to do with my hair, it's just not really working for me. I need to go and get some clips. Wait, no, there's one here. I'm just gonna use this one. But yeah, it was one Friday after school, so I had to get myself home really quickly. I had to like have a shower and stuff because there's nowhere I was gonna see Brian May looking like an absolute mess. I mean, I did kind of look like a mess, but like it wasn't as bad as if I didn't have a shower. So I jumped on the bus home, had a shower, etc., and did my makeup, got dressed, wore a Freddie Mercury top because why not? I mean, you're literally like seeing one of the Queen members in real life, so like of course you have to make an impression. So I wanted to try and look good, but I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with my hair right now, so excuse that. You know what, I'm gonna get some sunglasses to put my hair back. Okay, I'm back. I'm just gonna use these ones. Look how cool these are. I got these on ASOS for like £4, I think. They're actually really cool. I wore them to the Sometime Ball. Okay, I'm getting distracted. My parents came home, they were like,
Hannah, you're running late, you need to go.
so my parents drove us to the train station, but there was traffic on the way, so we were starting to run late and we were getting really worried. My mum was panicking. She was like,
Hannah, we're not going to get there in time, it's your fault.
listen sis, we're gonna get there, we're gonna see Brian May, it's gonna happen, it's fine. So even though we were running slightly late, we managed to get ourselves to the train station in time, and it was a very stressful hour or so. So on the way there, I was listening to Queen. You know, obviously you're going to listen to Queen if you're seeing one of the Queen members in the flesh. I don't know how many times I've said in the flesh now, it's kind of gross, but like, you know what I mean. I was starting to panic a little bit. I was like,
What if Brian May actually talks to me?
I'm not going to say any more about that. You have to wait until later, but I managed to get to where we would change trains, and it was like really getting late now. We were cutting it really fine getting there, and we literally had like 20 minutes to spare when we got to like the next train station. And as soon as we got off that train, the second train, and I literally ran to the Science Museum. Literally, they had like a subway from the station to the Science Museum, so I literally ran through that subway. I was like, I'm not missing this for the world. There is not going to be another opportunity in a very long time, or at least I didn't think there was going to be another opportunity for me to do something like this. So I ran. I left my parents behind. They were like,
Hannah, come back, you're leaving us.
I was like, I'm getting there, I don't care about you, I'm seeing Brian May, I don't care. I managed to get there. I was waiting outside for my parents, who were like 20 seconds behind. The talk was about to start. We literally got there as it was starting. The security ushered us to the theatre where it was happening. It was like an IMAX theatre thingy. We literally travelled so far, the speed walking through the Science Museum. There was no time to look at anything else. We literally had to like go straight there. It was so hectic, literally. So we managed to get there, and it was so awkward. I was standing outside the IMAX theatre. We were about to go in. I literally heard Brian May's voice. I was like, I'm not ready for this, I'm sorry. Like, I felt like I was gonna cry. Like, when I walked in, I just looked around and I was like, this is really happening. I was like, there's no way this is actually happening. So the security guy like walked us in, showed us to our seats, and we like walked across, and I feel like everyone was looking at us because like obviously everyone got there before us, and literally the talk had only just started. Like, I feel like we were about 2 or 3 minutes late, so we didn't really miss that much. I don't know what they were talking about, but like I didn't understand. It took me a good few minutes to like adjust to the setting. I was panicking, literally. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And something really cute happened. So they were talking about where everyone was like when the moon landing happened, and like where they were and who they were with. And when they asked Brian, he was like,
me and Roger were in Cornwall. We were gathered with our family and friends and stuff, and we were watching the moon landing, and we were drinking loads of tea.
It was just honestly adorable. Like, I'll have to insert some clips here of him talking about, you know, space and stuff.
And I will never forget it, watching these very grainy and hard to distinguish pictures, but there you could see the man go down onto the moon, and he said, this is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So did you drink your...
No, we drank tea and celebrated. But it was something I will never forget, I must say, and it seemed miraculous. I do remember my dad, who was in space aeronautics, a couple of years earlier saying, we won't get to the moon in my lifetime. I know we won't, but we did. It was an incredible achievement. And if it had happened on the moon, they would have died, because there's no way that can clear itself in small amount of gravity in a spacesuit if you can't take your helmet off. So yes, and again, the technological and the human part of it, I think, is almost unbelievable, because it needed them to be skillful pilots, particularly Neil Armstrong. That wouldn't have happened if he hadn't had the incredible presence of mind to steer to a place which hadn't been planned. These NASA missions, none of which are manned, but they can go a lot further than a man could ever go. You can't get to Jupiter as a man. It's not practical. It's not going to happen. It'd take a lifetime, and you couldn't possibly get to Pluto. But these probes are so intelligent now. They've gone there and they take all the pictures you want to. You can be a tourist without ever stepping out of your room with your TV. And I find that very exciting. The Rosetta mission, which went to a comet, the New Horizons, which went to Pluto, and there are new OSIRIS-REx, which has gone to an asteroid. I'm very much involved in looking at the pictures that are coming back. They're wonderful. You don't have to be there, and actually it'd be very uncomfortable to be there because there's nothing to do. You know, and all you've got to do is think about getting back, which is going to be hard. So I'm with you, Martin, really. I think the most exciting stuff is happening before our very eyes.
Yes, but on the other hand, that's the reason.
And the way that we treat the other creatures on this planet, I think we have it completely wrong. I think we exploit everything, imagining that the human race is the only important thing. And there's no evidence that I see to support that view. I think an alien coming along wouldn't naturally assume that the human being was the best part of creation. So yes, I have a serious issue with it. And if we take that kind of behaviour into space, if there were other creatures out there, we wouldn't be very well equipped to deal with that. So yeah, I have an issue. I would like to see us restart the way we treat each other and the planet. Maybe before we start trying to push ourselves. But I'm fascinated by your vision of the far future, because these AI creatures are our descendants, right? They are part of our evolution. That's the way you see it.
Yeah, it could be. But of course.
Some of it was like a bit over my head. Like I remember when Martin Rees was talking, I was like, I have no idea what's going on. But I did manage to eventually gather myself a little bit. I started to understand what was going on, and I had the best time. Like Brian was so lovely, like honestly so lovely, and like he was cracking jokes and stuff, and I was like, yes. And then eventually it got to around 20 minutes from the end, and the presenter guy that was like mediating it all, he was like,
So in this section we're going to open up questions for the audience so the audience can ask Brian and Martin questions.
and I was like, I had pre-prepared a question that I wanted to ask Brian, but when I prepared this question I didn't know for certain that they were going to do a Q&A, but I had a sort of feeling because the talk was an hour and a half, so I was thinking they're probably going to reserve the last half an hour for questions. So me being me, prepared a question about 39. So it was like a really sciencey question, but I managed to link the science side of it to his obviously career with Queen. So I was like, what song can I ask about that will link to space? 39. Yes, I'm going to ask Brian a question about 39. So my question was, hi Brian, this is a question for you. Because of the advances of technology, do you think that the story behind 39 could become a reality? And I was like, I'm never going to be able to ask him a question, like, this is literally impossible. So they started handing the microphone around. That there were a couple of like security people like at the back and like in the aisles that were like handing out microphones to people, because like you'd have to like wave your arm around like crazy. So I was like, every time like someone asked a question, I was literally like this, like,
Please let me ask Brian a question.
like I literally had my hand up for like a good 10 minutes, and lo and behold, a security person saw my hand like this. I was like,
Please.
and the security person they looked over at my direction like this.
You, do you want the microphone? Yeah, you.
I was like, yes, like give me the microphone now. The security person handed the microphone to the person at the end of the row, and they passed it along to me, and I was like, oh my god, this is really happening. I literally started to panic. I got goosebumps. I started to like sweat. I was really, really anxious. I was like, I'm actually going to speak to Brian May. I was like, a few questions went by. I was still holding my microphone. I was like, am I actually going to ask him a question? And then eventually they were like,
Oh, we're just going to get a question from the lady over there.
oh my god. This was where I really, really started to get really nervous. My mouth went dry. I felt like my throat was like closing up. So I tried to compose myself. I was like, Brian is a real human being. He's like the rest of us. I mean, even though he's a literal legend and he was literally in Queen with... I can't even describe it, but like, I just had to remind myself that Brian is a normal person. He's a human being. I should treat him like a normal human being and be composed and collected and not completely freak out. I was literally fangirling on the inside. I was like, this is like, Brian is literally my idol and I'm speaking to him. So I started to speak and I was like,
so Brian, this is a question for you.
I was like, I kept stumbling over my words, but eventually I collected myself. I asked the question and literally, I can't even describe it. Brian's face literally lit up. I'll have to insert a video here of him answering the question.
For Brian, because the song that you wrote, 39, is about time dilation, do you think that with the advances of technology, that the inspiration behind the song could become a possibility?
I'm so glad you asked that. Were you paid? Yes, I claim to be one of the very few people on this planet who have written a song inspired by general relativity. And yes, for those who don't know, it's the story of a man who goes off and explores the universe to try and find a place for humanity to go, because the Earth is running out of steam. I wrote this when I was quite young. What happens is he goes close to the speed of light, and by the time he comes back, he thinks he's been away for a year. His body has up to the people on Earth. It seems like it's maybe 100 years, maybe it's 200 years. And this is not really fantasy. This is actually what would happen. It's not really science fiction. It's very, very possible, if we manage to attain those kind of speeds, that it could come true. But I was interested in the human part of it more than anything else. I was thinking, what would it be like to come back and all your relations, or your family, or your friends have gone, and effectively you've been thrust into the future, and you're looking at your grandchildren, and I thought it would be a very hard thing to deal with. So the song is about that. What was the question?
Do you think that the inspiration behind it would become a possibility?
I think it could become a reality. Yes, I do.
It was honestly the best reaction I could have ever asked for. Like, it was absolutely amazing. He was like, I'll insert a clip of it here of his reaction.
I'm so glad you asked that. Were you paid?
And I really cannot. I'm just like so grateful for the experience. He literally went like, I'm so glad you asked. Like, literally like sat up in his seat. He was like ready to answer this question. He was like, did you get paid to ask that question? And you can literally hear me in the video laugh. Like, you might be able to hear me vaguely. So he started to get really carried away with the answer. He was like describing what 39 was about and like the story behind it. And like he was talking about it so much that he got so into the question that he forgot what the question was. So he had to ask me.
What was the question?
He literally asked me to repeat the question, and like he was beaming the whole time. Like he was smiling like this. Like I thought his smile was going to reach his eyes. Like he was so happy. And to get that sort of reaction from your idol is honestly such a surreal thing, and I honestly cannot thank him enough for that. So, oh my god, I was supposed to be doing my makeup. Never mind. But yeah, he was literally the nicest person ever. I couldn't have asked for a better reaction. Like, he was so sweet. So that was probably one of the best days of my life so far. Like, being able to talk to my idol is so surreal. Like, I still don't feel like it's real. And for me to actually talk to Brian May and have him answer a question of mine that I've wanted to be answered for so long, actually be answered, it's crazy. I honestly still can't believe it. Like, it feels like a dream to me. I really cannot believe it. So yeah, that was a surreal experience that happened a few weeks back. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is the Summertime Ball, which happened last weekend. It was honestly one of the best events I've ever been to. Like, it was so incredible. Like, all the artists there were absolutely amazing. Another surreal thing that happened was I actually got to see the Jonas Brothers, the actual real life Jonas Brothers, perform with Busted the year 3000. Like, mind blown completely. Like, I honestly, me and Piper, the girl that I was there with, we literally freaked out.
Summertime Ball! Summertime Ball! If it's okay with you, we would like to take you all the way to the year 3000. With a little help from our friends, Busted!
it was honestly the most surreal thing ever. And another crazy thing that happened that day was after Khalid performed his set, which I must say was absolutely incredible. I tweeted about it like, oh my god, you're amazing, love you. And lo and behold, Khalid retweeted my tweet and it literally blew up. I think it got like 3,000 likes or something, and like, you know where you can see the tweet activity, like how many people have seen it? Literally like almost 500,000 people saw that on Twitter. I was like, we got love! It's the least damn brown. And the day after the event, he actually liked another one of my tweets, and that got, I think, over like 1,000 likes, and it was crazy. It really was the best day. Like, I was second row, and I got to see Five Sauce perform Easier, and they performed Amnesia as well. I was like, oh my god. So I'm gonna insert a few clips from the day. I managed to see Mabel for the 7th time that day. I was like, this is crazy. Like, I've literally seen her so many times now, and like every time she's so good. Like, she outdoes herself every single time, and she was honestly amazing. I'm gonna insert some videos here of the Summertime Ball because it was such an amazing day, and I would 100% recommend it to anyone that's thinking of going next year or any year, because it was such a great day. And for the amount of people that you see, it's honestly kind of good value. Like, I mean, it's not exactly the cheapest thing ever, but if you ever have the chance to go, I would 100% recommend it. So yeah, gonna insert some clips here of the Summertime Ball. So after the Summertime Ball, it was last week, I went to go and see The Play That Goes Wrong for my drama GCSE. I think it's like section B of the paper where you have to talk about a performance that you went to go and see, and the chosen performance that we went to go and see was A Play That Goes Wrong, and it was honestly so good. Like, it was impeccable. Like, the comedic timing was so good. Like, it was so funny throughout, but I feel like the ending was a bit hectic for me. I honestly don't know how I'm going to write about everything. Like, it's going to be so difficult, but it was such a good play. I would definitely recommend it. Even if you're not doing it for GCSE, I would 100% recommend you go and see it. It's so funny. I was literally belly laughing the whole time. It was hilarious. Like, it's one of those things where it's so silly. Like, you feel like you shouldn't laugh, but you ended up laughing anyway. Like, it was so funny. And that's pretty much everything that I've got up to recently. I promise I won't go on a massive break for a while. I'm gonna try and stay active on here. I might do like a song cover soon, something like that. I don't know. Comment down below what kind of video you want to see from me next, and I'll be sure to film them. I hope you have a great day, night, week, wherever you are. I hope you have a great Father's Day as well, because it's Father's Day today. I don't know if it will be uploaded the same day, but yeah, See you soon. Bye.